one might think listening to this is, I don't need to worry about it. My telephony platform's already on SIP, or we've moved to Teams, or whatever it is. We're all in the cloud now. Why do I care about PSTN, ISDN being switched off? But what you're saying is, yeah, okay, there probably aren't that many organizations that they're still running their whole mission critical telephony off a load of ISDN2s. But what there quite possibly are is a load of organizations sat out there who've got some of these services doing something.
Yeah, and they're obscure. We in the industry, we often talk about lift lines, alarm lines, and these can be painful to change, painful to find. They don't generate usage. If you think about a lift alarm line, it's only ever used when the lift gets stuck. If the lift hasn't been stuck for 5 years, maybe Otis or Cone have come in, tested it. Who knows? Maybe they haven't. But that line is really hard to find. Who's paying for it? Is it coming through the lift company? Is it coming through the maintenance company? Is it coming through your facilities team? Is it coming through IT? It's obscure and hidden, but you tend to know that you've got lift lines. You tend to know you've got alarm lines, but it's the more nuanced things that we've looked at that are either unknown or really hard to get into the nuts and bolts of. So if you think about car park security or door security, where you press a buzzer, is that connected to a PSTN? And again, where's it being billed to? Who's looking after it? Who knows how to operate it? These are the things that are going to become more painful to deal with and perhaps harder to replace, because as you say, you've probably already got some SIP. If you haven't done it in your current organization, you've done it in a previous one. The telcos are all incentivized to try and sell you SIP services. They'll happily do it. When you look at what's there out there to replace water meters or traffic light systems, particularly in areas that don't get cellular connectivity, it's really limited and really difficult. So as a water company, do you have to dig out your pumps and your meters that are 6 foot under the ground connected to a massive piece of infrastructure and think about how you're going to replace that? These are the things that are difficult, they're obscure, and will take a lot of time.
Well, so and I know one of the things which we are going to talk about, but it's sort of the perfect segue from here is understanding that environment. I mean, we've done a podcast on the very topic of auditing and cleansing estates and understanding what's out there. And presumably, I myself know of several organisations. I'm sure you know of even more organisations, who've got these kind of bills coming in for 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 5,000 PSTN lines. No idea what they're doing. No idea where half of them are being delivered. And the fear, of course, is they're pull cords in sheltered accommodation. They're connected to traffic lights. They're the backup circuit for a burglar alarm. Who actually knows, and how the devil does one work out what those things are? That's pretty challenging, right?
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is if you are paying 12, 15 pounds a month for that line, it was really low priority to look into it. Oh, I don't know what that line is, but it's only £12. I've got this
I was going to say the cost
of
fixing it is more than the cost of keeping it.
Yeah, so many years ago in a previous life, I helped look after one of the big 4 banks' ATM networks, and just trying to understand that portfolio was a full-time job for several people across different organizations, across the bank, across the management company that I was looking after, across the telco, across the security company that fed the cash machines. No one, surprisingly not the bank or the security company, no one had the full 100% view of what that estate looked like. And we were still looking at addresses several years after the likes of Safeway had been procured by Morrison's and done away with, at Safeway sites on a BP garage that was now, when you looked on Google Maps, was now an Esso garage that had I don't know, M&S or Tesco's in there. So was the ATM still with this bank? It was
Is this how you manage to have a Securicor van arrive at your house twice a week delivering cash? Is this anyway? We'll move on from that.